Hello, Romans here and welcome to another music review. I review every album from a viewpoint of a musician, as I am a singer, songwriter and a bass player for my own group Jakobej, and almost 3 years ago we released our debut album called Pursuits in Life. What makes it unique is that it's a heavy prog rock without guitars. Instead you have drums, bass, saxophone and keyboards. You can check out all of our music videos on my YouTube channel.
Getting beyond the saving key, complete surrenders. Avoided fight before it's too late. You must never give in to seductive voice. This is the easiest choice. You need to find a way to oppose and let her go, let her go.
And in the description of all these videos you will find all the information about where is the record available. It's available on all digital platforms like Spotify, Tidal, Deezer, iTunes, Amazon, Bandcamp, but also in this digipack version of a CD with a very beautifully illustrated 20 pages long booklet. So, in case you want one, all you need to do is contact me via an email, on Facebook or on Instagram, or you can get one through Bandcamp as well. And today I'm going to review the new album from Evergrey, Escape of the Phoenix.
Music review. Music review.
This year reminds me a little bit of 2019 in that the first two reviews I made in 2019 were for Soen and Evergrey, and this is the fifth review I'm making this year so far, but I've already covered Soen. So this is the new album from Evergrey, and both of these bands kind of released their follow-up records after almost exactly 2 years. So a little bit of like nostalgia here. So anyway, I love Evergrey. I absolutely love this band, and I tried listening to some of their records many years ago, but I was truly transformed into a fan with their previous album, The Atlantic, which was so good that it ended up, I think, in my top 5 of the best albums for 2019. Brilliant record, absolutely loved it. And it was only a couple of months ago that I was like, okay, let's finally go through their discography, let's finally listen to their older stuff. As of now, I have gotten to their first 4 albums and I really loved them a lot. I took a break with their latest album, Escape of the Phoenix, which came out like 3 days ago. I've heard it 10 times as of now, which kind of shows how much I'm digging the record already. And spoiler alert, this is a serious contender for the album of the year. And even though at this point, probably it doesn't really matter that much because, you know, most of the year is still ahead of us, but I don't think many records will come close in terms of quality to this one. So let's dive right into the review. Forever Outsider has heavy riffs and a beautiful melody, and I really like how the heaviness is maintained throughout various parts of the song, especially rhythmically. We're August Morn. I love the keyboard sounds on this record, and I'm not sure if it's my memory, but I think that the keyboard sounds on this album are a bit more present than on anything else I've heard from them so far. And I wouldn't even mind if they were a bit louder, if they made keyboards more, I don't mean like a bigger focus of the music, but make them even more upfront. And in this track, they do one thing that I really love about them, like there's this really heavy riff and then it all calms in a verse, which is very atmospheric, very sonic, and dynamically kind of going down.
Winter came from cold to frozen, disguised in white.
Another track is Stories, and we got to talk about Tom Englund's voice. I think that his voice is the most emotional one I've ever heard, and the emotional way it can carry, it's just unbelievable.
I fought every battle, my fields of blood on the inside, unknown but I fly through the night, and now I have to take sides.
Then the next track is Dandelion Cypher, which has similarly atmospheric verses as the previous track Stories, which I really dig, but then it goes all metal. And again, the keys, I like how they maintain certain ambience and certain atmosphere, even in the heavier parts. Interesting thing about this record is that generally Evergrey are a night listen for me. With their progressive version of dark metal and a lot of gothic elements, they are a perfect fit for night, for listening to them at night. But this record, I'm not sure if it's the timing, because the last 3 days have been totally beautiful in Slovakia. Like the sun was shining, it was relatively hot, or warm, more like warm. There was a little bit of wind, and maybe Evergrey's music is not the music that would pop into my head as the first one to listen to in such a weather. Maybe it was because the album came out now, but this is such a bright and optimistic album, and it really is perfect for that beginning of spring. Then the next track is The Beholder, and here we have some electronic keyboard sounds, which is something I wouldn't mind if they experimented a little more in future, like combining their metal with electronics. I think that would have been a nice experiment. And this is like, again, that mid-tempo song, and we have James LaBrie from Dream Theater here. And there are parts where he sings alone, there are parts where Tom sings alone, and then there are parts where they sing together. And I think it's really interesting, not only because of how different their voices are, but at certain points, even their phrasing is different. And I think it makes the whole section a little more organic, almost as if you were listening to a live concert.
You'll always face this alone. There is a path to be found. You gotta reach there on your own. So many words to discover. So many more.
In the Absence of Sun is the lightest track on the album, even though there are certain heavier moments.
Sun, where's the sun? The lack of light is my abstinence, and my sense of safety's undone.
Eternal Nocturnal, one of the songs that they shot a music video for. This was actually the first song I heard from the album, way before the album came out. And what an optimistic, this is like genuinely optimistic, bright, up-tempo song, like a positive version of Evergrey. I love it. It's very catchy, and it kind of emphasizes the overall vibe of the record.
I'll be your winds when you need a storm. Your sense of hope when you fall. I'll be your shelter when you need a home. I'll be your reasons to.
Then we have the title track, Escape of the Phoenix, which is a return to the heavier style. And the chorus is almost in the power metal territory with the double bass, but what makes it different is the overall heaviness and darkness of it.
Ashes crowded, a call to weakness. Escape of the phoenix.
You From You is another brighter mid-tempo song, but the part I want to highlight here is that solo, guitar solo, which almost goes into that Pink Floyd territory, very ambient, very emotional, very sonic. Really love it. Leaden Saints is a heavier and darker song, and it actually reminds me a little bit of their previous record, The Atlantic. The final track on the album is Run, which is a fantastic closer, and what I love about this track especially are those fantastic synths. I have already said at the beginning that this is a serious contender for the album of the year, and I just absolutely love this new album. Even though I haven't heard all of the albums from Evergrey so far, I've read that most of their records are just absolutely top-notch. This is their 12th studio album, and they still keep delivering. To be able to still keep delivering great records, I mean, that's a huge achievement. So I can't wait to discover the rest of their discography, and this album, I will keep coming back to it. Do you like this video? If you like the videos I'm making, consider supporting me by purchasing my debut album Pursuits in Life, because I include audio samples and thus I make my videos the most informative and entertaining to watch. I usually run a risk of getting a copyright claim, meaning that I won't be able to monetize my videos, and whatever money is earned goes to the author of the audio samples. I have no problems with that. These bands and artists deserve all the support. But as these videos are extremely time consuming, the best and the only way how to support me is by buying my debut album. And if you are an Evergrey fan, I think you're gonna dig this record quite a lot. So have you heard this album already? You can let me know in the comment section below whether you agreed or disagreed with me. If you are an Evergrey fan, you can let me know how well do you think it compares to their other records, maybe which one is your favorite one and which ones should I listen to next. You can follow me on Facebook or on Instagram. You can find the links to both in the description of this video below. Also, if you like this video, don't forget to like, to share, to subscribe. You can check out my own original music, my live performances, my worst to best series, and quite a lot of other reviews as well. Thanks a lot for watching.